like we said, you can have the best piece of prose that anyone's ever written or anyone's ever read. And if you're not hitting on all the SEO elements, like we talked about, keywords, links, everything else, if you're not hitting on that, no one's going to find it. So it could be the best thing that anyone's ever going to read. But if you fail to do the SEO, no one's going to ever find it.
That was Tyler Reed. He is the founder of BizWrite and expert SEO writer who makes his living doing SEO writing for mega law firms. If you want to get more eyes on your website, you got to be friends with Google. And one of the best friends to be friends with Google is to optimize the words on your website to be SEO friendly. Now, let's be honest here. Every single page on your website has a chance to be ranked and seen on Google and to get more traffic to your website, right? Your About Me page, your services pages, your FAQ page, all of them. They all have a chance. And ultimately, when they get ranked on Google, you get more traffic to your website and more people in your office. That is the power behind SEO writing. And luckily for you, you don't have to watch a bunch of YouTube videos to figure out how to do this on your own. For our coaching group, we brought in Tyler to train our clients how they can do this at their law firms. And in this special podcast guest interview episode, you're going to get a little bit of a recap, the juicy nuggets, his best tips on how you can do this for your law firm's website for free right now, today if you wanted to, no pro required. Welcome to the Elder Law Growth Podcast. This is the place to be for all things marketing for elder law and estate planning attorneys. Here in this podcast, you'll find all the skills and tools you need to market your law firm without wasting your time. I'm Amy Hurst and I'm with Bambiz. And in this podcast episode, you'll learn how to optimize your law firm's website, make it SEO friendly from the professional himself. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Say I'm a solo attorney and I don't have the budget to hire an SEO writer, but I know I need to have SEO writing. I need to have keywords on my website. So you're put yourself in my shoes. So the first thing you would probably do would be,
let's just kind of hit on it because, and I'll just tell a story real quick. I was talking to the director of marketing just last week for a huge multinational law firm. I won't call them out because I'm hoping that they do business with us. But this director of marketing, when we got to the SEO side of our conversation, she just said, "Oh, that's a bunch of links, right?" And I was just flabbergasted. Really, I was like, "You are the director of marketing for a huge law firm, over 300 attorneys worldwide." And, SEO is so much more than that. And if you're just strategic, you don't have to have the budget of those giant guys. You can be strategic and get by with so much less, just being smart. So knowing what we're talking about, knowing what we're doing, stage one.
There you go.
Think about a newspaper writing. You have these different headlines. And right up front, every newspaper copyman can tell you there's the hook. And we're looking at those attention grabbers. Rarely is anyone going to read through every word that you put out on a page, on a blog, and an FAQ even. So we want to capture them really almost in the headlines. And it's just an outline of what you're putting out. And if you're writing in like a Google Docs, it gives you fantastic formatting options for like a headline 1, that's your title, headline 2, headline 3, kind of down the outline through your copy. It's very easy and straightforward. Anyone can figure it out. Even someone, without an analytics background can figure it out. But you get those headlines in place. It just breaks up your copy and makes it look nice. And the reader can just kind of follow along. If they're scrolling down, they figure out what each section is about. They might decide to stay. They might decide to go to a different section. But at least you've kind of made it, user-friendly.
Yeah, and you've broken it up. You've broken up the text.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because these days, everyone's attention span is so short anyway. If we're scrolling through this, we might read a few sentences and then we're going to be gone to the next option. If you haven't answered the why, why do I go with you versus a competitor in that short time span, they're going to go to someone else who will. So,
oh, absolutely. If you don't answer their question right off the bat. So having that headline is so important because, I mean, even for me, I know for me, when I'm trying to figure something out, I'll click on a website and I'll just scroll really fast and I'll just be looking at the headlines like, will this answer my question? No, I'm going to keep scrolling. Will this, like maybe 3 to 5 seconds tops. So
absolutely.
those headlines are so important.
On the same line, formatting is so important. Like we said, it needs to be shorter sentences. It needs to be shorter paragraphs. You might be looking at this on our phone, during a daily commute or whatever. It can't be these giant walls of text. I mean, I can't tell you how annoying it is when you just get to a website and it's just there. It's
like a textbook. It's like a
yes.
text.
I don't even want to look at that. It's going to make my eyes cross.
No.
So break it up. Use headlines, and there's kind of the tricks of the trade. Use bullet points all over the place. Even just same, similar thoughts. Bam, 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 bam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use numbered lists. No walls of text. Just break it up. Does it look nice? Does it look quick and easy to get through? Okay, then I'll actually devote my time and energy to get through this. Readability. There are different measures in SEO to kind of figure out the readability, but just in a very, very broad sense, we are pegging for about an 8th grade reading level, which means, you have to use short sentences. You can't use big legal jargon. And this is a challenge in legal content writing, I know, because we're writing about, revocable trusts, living wills, executor, grantees, these high level terms. And you have to kind of walk that sword of making it readable and engaging while also hitting, yes, those SEO terms. And you can kind of do that just by making shorter sentences, less lengthy words. So try to figure out a new way to say it without using so many words. Just be concise. So, again and again and again. That's what we tell our own writers. You need to be concise. So back to Director of Marketing lady. Yes, links are an element of SEO, but they are one small piece.
One thing, yeah.
Yes, that is SEO to some people. Links are very crucial, and they help with your SEO a lot, and they're a good opportunity to kind of showcase that you are an expert in that you've researched your content well. And again, throughout every piece of content that my team ever produces, we want to convey value. Again, when I go with your law firm over a competitor, I'm getting what, because why, So you need to kind of reiterate that value statement and go ahead and do that exercise. When I'm going with you over a competitor, what am I getting and why? And you need to answer that question right up front, because that kind of develops your communication strategy. That's the value that we're saying. Maybe it's that we're lighter, faster, and connected, than our competitors. We have this technology that no one else has. We have this expertise, decades of experience and loads of case results. Whatever that value proposition is, needs to be conveyed throughout all of your messaging again and again and again, so that everyone reading it is like, oh, well, this guy really knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. And because it's all subconscious, when they go to your website, that's exactly what they're wondering inside their head. Like, why am I going with this person?
Yeah, exactly. Consistency is key, like we said, in working out and in SEO. The worst offenders we see are kind of the once a year, twice a year blog posts. It's, kind of like going to mass on Christmas and Easter. It's just not doing you a lot of good.
Yeah, there's no point in even trying.
No, it really isn't. And I think it's a detractor more than anything. You see a stale old blog, oh man, they haven't posted to their blog in 2 years. That's a detractor. This guy is not current. He's not relevant with what's going on in the industry. I don't even know if they still exist.
Right?
Are they still around?
Yeah.
They haven't put anything out in 2 years. No news in 2 years. Okay. So just kind of a general rule of thumb. It varies, honestly. And again, SEO experts might debate me, but we're saying one blog per month, at least one.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Anybody can do that.
You can do it. You can jot down a few paragraphs, add some headlines, put some keywords in there, throw a few links, publish it up, you're done.
Perfect.
The length, again, this is widely debated in the SEO community, but if it is under 300 words, here's your metric. If it's under 300 words, Google will not even look at it.
Gotcha.
So your standard, kind of the gold standard for everything you put out, attorney bios, webpage, anything, is about that 1,500 word mark. But like we said, good, better, best. You can get by, certainly, with a 500 word, to 800 word piece of content, especially if you're posting more frequently. So how about one 500 word post per week? That's 2,000 words that you put out in a month. And you could kind of have a different strategy with each post. So that can also be a very, very powerful element, or mix the two. Maybe we have a 1,500 word that's kind of our pillar, and then a quick 300 word blurb for a news event that popped out. But a recent a statistic that I just saw, and this again is the mega of the mega, the best of the best, absolute platinum. If you put out 3,000 words, it is 300% more likely to be read and 400% more likely to be shared by the reader. So if you really want to invest in kind of the best of the best of the best, and maybe that's a couple times a year, like you're putting out an e-guide, the ultimate guide to estate planning, something like that. But that, again, is a content pillar that you can put on your website. And if you're working in WordPress, there's a little box at the bottom that says, do you want to make this a content pillar? And you say, yes, sir, I do. That's an easy way I say easy. 3,000 words is a lot.
That's a lot. That's like a mini book.
It really is. And your writing, you can kind of get redundant. So use your headlines to keep your outline kind of consistent, readable, engaging, and moving towards that action. At the very end of whatever you put out, blog, webpage, anything, you want to have that call to action. And I should have put that in my my verbiage at the front. A CTA is another SEO element that you'll hear a lot, a call to action. And all that is want to learn more, and you're highlighting it, you're putting them to your contact page. Want to subscribe to our newsletter, quick link at the end. But you're directing your reader to make an action at the end of what they just read. You can also sprinkle call to actions throughout the body. I think that's pretty useful too. But as a reader, I'm not sure how often I'm clicking on those. I'm usually just scrolling through quickly to find what I want. And if I get to the bottom and I have that direction, it's there if I want it. That's just kind of what you're doing. You're giving people the opportunity. Absolutely.
Well, Tyler, thank you so much for joining us. I know I learned quite a bit about SEO writing. So now we know, don't just put words on your website. There needs to be strategy. There needs to be the technical side of it as well. So of course, Tyler knows this in and out, and he's been doing this for years. And I know I learned quite a bit. So Tyler, thank you so much for joining us and sharing how an expert would do this.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Elder Law Growth Podcast, the place to be for all things marketing for elder law and estate planning law firms. If you liked this podcast, please leave us a review wherever you are listening to this podcast. If you'd like to outsource your marketing to our team, go to bambiz.net and book a free call with us today.